this is the first way I did it. Very first time I was over here. I remember coming up here on a cold day, I was gasping. I think John saw the video, gasping so hard. John related, he goes, that sounds like how I get. Yeah, I'm definitely tired from yesterday. Yesterday I felt decent. I felt decent yesterday. Yeah, so when I do a lot of leaning forward, like I am on trails like this, the camera's at a good angle. Otherwise, when I'm just riding more casual, you barely see my hands. But so that's a consideration I try and keep in mind, depending on where I'm riding. Keep the pedals going, Rob. Gotta keep them turning. They almost stalled back there. This is that tricky spot right here coming up. Not tricky that way. I almost went off the back of the seat there. What was that all about? I almost went off the back of the seat. This was that long, tricky climbing section that I was describing when I was out of water with Jordan. All right means like, all right, take a look ahead, Rob. Let's see what you have to prepare for next. That's kind of like what my all rights mean. All right, I think we made that. We got through there. I say what I've been thinking about. So I see it going up there. But this gives my hand a rest. Wildcat loop clockwise. Yeah, so these are physically hard too. They're physically hard. I forget what's challenging in this end. It's different. You don't have the same uphills, of course. Let me just wipe the camera one more time. Especially with me, I overheat quickly. So always be wiping the lens. How many times have I gotten like a smudge lens and was so unhappy because it was on a nice trail and I wanted a nice video for? Many times. When I was going up the White Brook side at High Mountain, the mud splattered. You got a little mud splatter. You got mud splatter on it. And I you know, but it kind of dried itself. The mud splatter seemed to have dried itself as we were riding along. That was good. Now these lenses have a protective coating where water won't stick to it, sort of. But I put like I got a protector on the screen, like a plastic, you know, overlay. It's a screen protector. So that takes away that, but I'd rather have the protection. We can always buy a new lens because they screw up now. They didn't in the past. You know, so for $100 if you screw it up, but I don't know if all that stuff would actually help. Ooh, I thought I was grabbing the rear brake too much. Let's go back and make this turn here. Holy shit, I slid around. I actually squeezed the front brake, taking enough weight off the rear wheel that I was sliding around in a controlled slide because the bike wasn't making that angle of a turn. That was just friggin' amazing. Yeah, that was amazing how that worked out. So you want to make sure your rear wheel gets on. You want to make sure your rear wheel gets on that sucker. I don't know if I'm making up this here. Yes, back to what I got to remind myself. Get way forward, Rob. That's what I didn't do on that sharp, steep climb that I couldn't do before. I forgot. Because when I get way forward, I'm keeping the front down. And I just keep, you know, fighting. Like I said, I'm learning to push harder. Although I thought I knew how to do it, I'm learning to push harder. One hell of a trail, man. One hell of a trail. That's everything. So we have that water, that, you know, the stream we got to go across. I almost think it might be easier in this direction because you start out a little bit smoother. That was all body shift there. I don't know how to explain that because I was almost at a complete stop. It was all body shift. That was really tricky. I might have wanted to have a little more speed. So this will be nice. 2 videos, 1 in each direction with some nice color. So here's the big logs I can't get across. A little too high for me. Yes, we're clipped in. To remind people, all my rides are clipped in. Another story for another day. But at the end of the day, I'm staying clipped in. I'll deal with any little mishaps. Here's another spot. So the conditions are, I guess we're going to call them absolutely perfect. A little like 1/10 of an inch of rain would make it even better, John. These are pine needles, right? I can see it still looks somewhat dark underneath. Right, this is that other spot where, yeah, you can't get across here. A clean lens so you can watch a clear video. Both of us. Yeah, I watch them. You talk about how I'm going to have them for when I can't ride anymore with my whole back situation. How good and bad is that going to be? How good and bad is that going to be? You're going to have videos of what you used to do and love, and you can't do them now. But you can keep reminding yourself of what you can't do. Well, you can't look at it like that, right? You can either look at it and say, you know, be bragging to the other senior citizens. Look what I used to do. Yes, that's what I used to do. And I didn't start until I was like, you know, 60 years old. I didn't start until I was 60. Literally. And I had all kinds of back issues. Although I can ride the bike, the back just takes away all my, you know, energy, but it doesn't keep me from pushing hard on the pedals. It may limit some of my strength in the lower back because, you know, who knows what's happening. But I don't think it bothers me as far as, you know, being able to pedal the bike. And it doesn't feel like it's going to go out. You know, when I'm walking and stuff, it's ready to go out with every step I take, no matter how I turn my body on the bike, because I'm twisting in a different fashion. I don't know how to explain it. Don't know how to explain it. So this is the damn stream. Oh, that was a kind of a piece of cake. That was a piece of cake. Because you can see straight on. Piece of cake. Then it's just a matter of skidding. You get your weight back for that, you know, big rock coming at the end. You got to get over the top of it. That was very nice. Yeah, so the other way is a little bit harder. That section is tough. Boy, is that section tough. Yeah. Where am I going here? Yeah, I need to get off the rear end. That was really tough. I wasn't off the rear end enough. And the seat kept plopping me, twisting me. So that's where you talk about having the seat down all the way. Yes. A little finger camera wipe. I don't want to have to stop. Yeah, I don't look too far ahead on the trail. I look like 15 feet ahead. Try and look further now. I'm just going to go over here for this. All right. Oh, good. Here we go. I'm just trying to do a nice wipe with the finger. Make sure the lens is good. All right. It's like we have a hard, sharp right-hander up after a ways. This is kind of mellow through here. Back to those who maybe just watching my videos, my back damage makes my hands go numb, and it takes me an hour or two for that to go away. So I shake them when I'm riding, like I'm doing now. You see my hand off the bar. See up here, there's a right turn. Why am I thinking there's going to be a good grade with it? Yeah, so I know right in here to the left or so is where I found that trail. Yeah, I just got way forward on that baby. Way forward here. Because when I'm getting forward, I'm almost tugging the bike up. It's like I'm almost tugging the bike up with me. That was a really hard section. So hard. So hard. All right, so this we're not making. Yes. That I'm not getting over. Get my foot in. Still trying to rest in here. Holy shit. How I inched around that turn, I don't know. I'm exhausted right now. Oh shit, so hard. So hard. Yes, so hard. I got my heart rate up there, probably close to 180. My hand is numb. Yeah, this way is harder. Yep. No question, this way is harder. So this is where we go a little to the left and come back in, right? The opposite of the other way. Yeah. Yes, I'm tired because I'm exhausted. Up here. All climbing here. Still trying to get my breath. Because there's all climbing still, so I'm having trouble getting my breath. Pretty mellow over here, just some elevation. Mellow, you know, rocks on the ground wise. Not a breeze. Not a breeze. Yeah, it feels good right there. Ah, feels good right there, just a little bit. So this is all the climb we came in. So just envision all this, you know, envision climbing all this. And hitting rocks piles like that when you're tired at the top there. So there's a lot of rolling here down. Nice look. It looks like some of the guys might have gone up to the left there. Just hit it real high on the top there. Wildcat loop, way under. Clockwise, definitely the harder, definitely. The stream was easier in this direction, but overall it was harder. I know the entrance was hard the other way, and I did this one after, you know, doing the opposite direction, the counterclockwise, so I was warmed up a little bit. And I know, what do I know? I don't know what I know. I don't know anything. So up here is where I made a mistake. And the coyote, they call it the SpongeBob. That's the segment name. And SquarePants is the other way. So that would have went right to my left there. So after the logs is where you make your hard left. And you're going the other way like I was. I'm just going to wipe the camera one more time. That should be... Oh, there's that big rock I like, right? Look at it. We'll have to put that one we'll put as a thumbnail. Because I like that baby so much. All these parks are different with how you have to ride them and your skills. And with me, the skills I have are all fairly learned, recently learned a lot of them. So I'm not proficient at them. I'm not confident, not consistent. I think this is the initial part where we came in up here. See, that's cool right there. But getting up there, right, when you're coming up the hill, I know all that was challenging for me. Now I hucked off it a little bit. I have to start practicing now. Just little tiny jumps.